Hey, sixth graders. So this is like part two of today. So you just went through all this with me. That took a while. So that takes work to understand these things. Again, I'm going to keep coming back to that same metaphor. We are building with Legos, and you have to understand which pieces are the long pieces, small pieces, thin pieces, thicker pieces. That's what we're doing here. Nouns, verbs, adjectives, adverbs, prepositions, all of it comes together to form language. So part two, we're going to do a little bit more creative writing, especially since we're about to go on a break. I want to see some significant writing. So let's take a look at what Kwame Alexander is doing, or what he was doing. So he did some things really interesting. He did a lot of different things, and we're only going to focus on three today. Number one, as a writer, Kwame Alexander was playing around with visual writing. Look at this. So at the top of the key, I'm moving and grooving. He's playing there because he's doing the all caps. And we know that when something's all caps, it changes how it sounds. It's supposed to say it more firmly. Here, popping and rocking. So notice pop is in all caps, but ping is not. So he wanted to be popping and rocking's even in italics. So he's playing around with the font style. That's pretty intense. And he's even throwing around like be careful though, because now I'm crunking. That cuz, see that little apostrophe right there? That means that he cut out the be of because. Cuz is not a word. It's slang, so it's an abbreviation. So you have to put that apostrophe there because he cut out the be. You can't say, hey, I'm going to the store because I'm hungry. All right, I take it back. You can say that. You can't write that without acknowledging that you're leaving letters out. But notice he does like Chris, italics, crossing, flossing, flipping, and my dipping. All right, and then look at this. Slipping. So he's playing around with how words look. That's important, and that's hard stuff. Does the same thing down here with swoosh, right? Swoosh. He carries out that O. So that's very visual. Second thing he does, obviously, he's playing around with a ton of figurative language. Your dad's old school, like an old Chevette. That's a simile. Your dad is like an old Chevette. You're fresh and new like a red Corvette. Like, simile. I'd burn mad as a flame. Like or as, another simile. The hoop's for sale and I'm the buyer. That's a metaphor. Now he's not doing like or as. He's just saying, the hoop's for sale. I am buying it. I'm going to own it. Air, his long twisted hair like wings, carrying him high above the ring. Hair like wings. In his game of life, your family is the court and the ball is your heart. So there's no simile there. That's a metaphor. He's saying your family is the court and the ball is your heart. Right? That's how important it is to you. Basketball is life. So that's the second thing he does is he plays with figurative language, especially similes and metaphors. And then ideas. This is a little deeper, but if you think about it, there's a lot going on in this book, right? Of all the stories that we are reading, this 196 page poem or collection of poems, we have a story of dad's health issues that lead to death. That's a huge story that carries throughout. JB and Josh are gunning for a championship that they win. So there's also this story going on while dad's health is going on. JB and Josh are trying to win a championship. That's always there. 3, JB's starting to date, and Josh is so jealous he almost breaks JB's nose. So their relationship is a third layer to this. 4, there's this mystery about dad's past, right? It's just kind of always there. They never quite know the whole story. And by the end, they kind of piece it together, but we never really know much more than he was a good ball player. He played in Europe, but they didn't know, it took them for a while to find out that he quit because of his knees. And let's not forget that there's a whole story here, and it's written differently, where Josh has a different alter ego. So he's Josh, and then he's Filthy McNasty. So we get some chapters throughout the book where he's filthy, and a lot of them where he's just Josh. Holy cow, that's 5 different things that Kwame Alexander is juggling at the same time. So here's your challenge for today. I want you to be creative today. No rules. I'm not looking for grammar. I would like you just to write for fun. But I'm going to you have to choose one option. There are 3 here, but choose one. Option 1, I want you to try to write a poem playing with visual writing, right? Let your verbs move around so they act like their action. Here's another example of my verb falling. Um, your poem can be about anything. I just like would suggest it's about something actiony, right? Like playing a game, run around, recess, like anything that allows you to like take words and show them doing things. Like, look at that, move, right? It means like it's moving somewhere. Falling looks like it's falling. That's the kind of thing I want you to play with. Option two, write a poem only using metaphors and similes. And this one I'm going to give you the hint on. Take your worst day at school that you can remember and use metaphors and similes to show us how bad it is. Compare that day and all the things that happened to things and make them crazy. The crazier, the better. 3, write a short story with at least 3 things going on at once. Now, this is the longest and the hardest, but some of you are natural writers. So I want you to think of, I'm going to give you the frame. I want you to create a main character trying to get to the store or someplace by 4 o'clock. So that's one story. They're going from point A to point B. While they're going there, I want you to have them worried about something that happened the day before. So their thoughts, even though they're walking or driving or riding their bike, they're also like, oh man, this thing happened and I'm really struggling with it. So give us some information about that. And the third layer here is the main character meets a new friend on the way to the store while they're worried about something that happened the day before. See if you can try to juggle 3 different things. That's hard. It's a good challenge. And you don't need to do it. You only need to do one, but I want to see that work for today. So that's your work. All right. Is I want you to like submit. So you may attach to, write in a notebook and attach a photo. You could hit a submission, create a submission in Schoology and write in that assignment. You might want to spend more time on a Google Doc and share that link. But I'm looking for at least 30 minutes. So people, if I think you did this in 2 minutes, I'm gonna give it back to you and call it a missing. I want to see you commit to just trying to write. It's going to be hard, and I'm here for questions, but let's give it a shot. Okay, everyone, this is your work for today. All righty.